Hey everybody, it's your boy, Alexi, and today in this video we're gonna be taking a look at the RCXD from the new Black Ops 6 gameplay. So, watch this clip.
Take cover! Stay low until that minigun stops spinning. Stay down. Nice work.
So as you just saw in that campaign level, there was a part where there's this juggernaut that the characters have to fight, and the character tries to shoot the juggernaut, but that's not enough. So then he pulls out the weapon wheel, and then he goes over to the RCXD, he selects that, and then he deploys it, and then he drives the RCXD over to the juggernaut and blows it up, and that's enough to kill the juggernaut because that's a huge explosion. And so yeah, that's a pretty cool little use of the RCXD in campaign. As far as I know, I don't think you've been able to use the RCXD in campaigns in Black Ops games so far. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Let me know down in the comments below. Is this the first time that the RCXD is in campaign? Because I think it is. Okay, so for me, the most interesting thing about this is how the design of the RCXD has changed. So in the past, you would see RCXD designs that were kind of like, a makeshift little thing that someone put together. Of course, they don't care about it looking good. They're just making sure that it gets the job done. It drives over to the enemy, it explodes. That was it. But this time, things are different. This time you have an RCXD where it looks like a genuine toy car, like a commercial toy car. In the sense that this is something that you would see in your local, hardware store or your local toy shop or something. This is something that isn't put together by the actual characters in the game universe, but rather this is just something that they bought, this cheap little toy that they bought, this RC car, and then on top of that they what seems like duct taped a phone and some explosives. So how you have these like really cheap IEDs, this is basically the same design, except they've just duct taped it onto the RCXD. And going back to what I said about the design of the actual RC car itself, you can see that this time it's more professionally built because it's something that was commercially available, so they care about how it looks because it's built by a toy company. So it has this nice angular design. It's almost like this triangle, and it has a spoiler, so that's really cool. And you can also see how with this RCXD, other than the very like sporty look that it has, you can also see how it has these shock absorbers on the side. So that's pretty cool. I'm not sure if this version of the RCXD is gonna be able to like jump or not. In Black Ops 3 that version could jump, but I guess that was just because it was a futuristic game, so the RCXD there was very futuristic. And speaking of RCXDs, if we just take a look at the various RCXDs throughout Black Ops history, we can take a look at, the different designs and how they've evolved and changed. So let's take a look at the RCXD from Black Ops 1. So you can see that it's like a very, very basic design, Clearly this is very different from the one that we just saw in Black Ops 6, because this is something that you can tell that they've built themselves specifically for military use. So it's not that you've bought this civilian consumer good toy car and then you've strapped explosives onto it. This is purpose built for military use, and it doesn't even have like proper covering for all that stuff. You can see all the exposed electronics and the exposed parts and stuff. and then on the front you have that kind of bumper, you know. Now with the RCXD in Black Ops 2, it's very different. So here you can see how it's a very like professionally designed RCXD. So it's not this, you know, makeshift kind of thing. This is specifically built by the military so that they can, you know, deploy it in large numbers. This isn't something that, you know, was just this idea that a small unit or a small squad had. This is something that's issued weaponry as a part of, you know, the weapons that are given to the soldiers when they're going into battle. So this is a proper professional design. You can see how everything is covered up. You can see all these lights and stuff. It's very futuristic. It's a nice design. Now with Black Ops 3, the RCXD here isn't even called an RCXD. It's called the HCXD. And we saw how the Black Ops 2 one was pretty futuristic, but this one is even more futuristic, which reflects the era that the game is set in. So you can see that it has those 4 fans instead of 4 wheels, which then cause it to hover above the ground. So it's not making any contact with the ground, it's simply hovering. And the thing about this one is that just like how in Black Ops 3 your character can wall run, in a way your HCXD can also wall run, because it's gonna stick to the wall for a little bit as it moves. And so that's pretty cool. And also keep in mind it does boost jump the same way that your character boost jumps. So the HCXD really does reflect the way that the movement is in Black Ops 3. And then we have Black Ops 4, and given the time period that the game is set in, you can tell that this version of the RCXD isn't that futuristic at all, and it's basically just this kind of high definition version of the Black Ops 1 RCXD. You know, they've added in better graphics and stuff because the game's newer, and you know, there's better physics with how the antenna moves, but overall the general design is the same, and there's some additional details, but overall it's pretty much the same. But in terms of the gameplay, one thing that is worth noting is that in the Black Ops 4 RCXD compared to the Black Ops 1 RCXD, you do have the ability to make it jump. So that's a pretty big difference. Now, the Black Ops Cold War RCXD is actually pretty close to the Black Ops 6 one, because here you can tell that the actual car used here is a commercially available toy car, because it's, you know, built like a proper truck, and it genuinely looks like that. It has paint and stuff like that. So the idea is that they bought a toy truck, a toy pickup truck, and then they modified it for military use. So you can see that in the back they've put in what seems to be explosives, and then there's all this wiring, and there seems to be a camera there as well, and you know, there's the antenna and stuff like that. And they've modified the side to add some rails, and then they've also added in this flashlight, so you know, if the RCXD is going into like these really dark areas, you can still see. So it's a pretty cool design as well. So overall, yeah guys, that's all the other RCXD designs compared to the Black Ops 6 one. And you know, let me know down in the comments which one you think is the best design. Do you think that the Black Ops 6 one is the best one, or do you think that some of the older ones were better? And other than that, I'd like to say that I'm giving out shoutouts on this channel to those that subscribe, hit the bell, and comment I subscribed. Anyway guys, with all that being said, this is Alexi signing out.